reading the comments on this from a metal publication. Let's say rock, because they do punk stuff obviously too. And Loudwire, I've been featured in Loudwire a couple of times. My band has as well. And they posted this article, which is interesting. And I saw some of the responses from some people that claim to be part of this like kind of punk subculture. But what's happening right now is, and this is the responses were what got me, because it's like, wow, these guys, punk is dead. Like, let's just be real with it. Punk, all this rock-based anti-authoritarian shit, like all that's fucking out of the window. But Punk Concert is charging, as they covered, is charging $18 if you're vaccinated. So this is how much money you get, how you have to charge, I guess, for entry to this concert, and $1,000 if you're not. Now I want to be clear. Does a venue on their own property, working with whatever promoter, have the right to do this? 100%. Discrimination. It is. But I've always said that that shouldn't be illegal. There's no crime there. That's their private property. They can do whatever it is that they want. We get to respond, however. In efforts to encourage people to get vaccinated against COVID-19, a concert promoter in Florida, of all places, is charging $18 for tickets to a punk show for those who have received the vaccine, and $1,000 for those who haven't. The concert will take place on June 26th in St. Petersburg. Features a line of punk bands from Teenage Bottle Rocket, Make War, Rufkin, Leadfoot Promotions. Paul Williams is who said it. Crafted the ticket price tiered in order to incentivize, as an incentive, or for an incentive for concert goers to get COVID-19 vaccine. I also wanted to be a vaccine drive to get the fence sitters off the fence. I want the kids that want to go to shows to go out and get their shot. So basically that's what it is. It's like, hey, you want to come to a show, then you need to get jabbed. I mean, wow. I mean, what a that's your moral position, and that's fine. To care about people being safe is very bad, apparently. This is after the fallout from the backlash, he says. I guess it's coming from Paul Williams, if I'm not mistaken. Says you can buy a full price ticket and you'll be treated like everyone else. And it's funny that you worded like that, Paul. That's being disingenuous, Mr. Williams or Leadfoot Promotions. This is kind of funny, but that's not what the case is. It's that, yes, this whole vaccine, we're not oblivious to it, and I know you're not oblivious to it, what's going on with this whole vaccination thing, right? And this has been something that has been orchestrated by government, by the authority figures. Now, some people are questioning it and saying this is questionable. And some people have assessed their risk here. And definitely young folk, because you mentioned kids, and definitely young folk, getting the vaccine may not be worth the risk, if you will. Hospitalizations are very low the younger you are. They just like plummet the younger you are, to being basically non-existent. And definitely when you consider people's health status. And I think that obviously in that conversation when it comes to the vaccine, that gets lost because these people think they have monopoly on caring about people and monopoly on what is considered good health, right? So it's like you're anti-vaxxer, you're anti-this, or you're a bad person because you have assessed the risk and said, okay, well, I'm a very healthy person, relatively healthy person. And according to these guys' own data, it's almost statistically insignificant in terms of my risk of being hospitalized and even more so with dying. So I don't think it's worth getting this jab, which is still kind of going through this experimental phase because this hasn't gone through a long-term rigorous testing like you generally see from vaccines that get put out. And apparently it's punk to sit here and charge those types of people who have said no $1,000 because you want them to do what the authority has dictated that we're supposed to do and we should be doing, top to bottom for the most part. All the authority figures have determined that this is what you should be doing, and that's getting the jab. Again, it's disingenuous to be like, oh, caring about people's health. This ain't what that's about. Like, I think the people that assess the risk, it's because they care about their own individual health. You, unfortunately, have acted like there's a monopoly on caring about health, and you cannot care about that unless you either go incentivize people to take the jab or you get the jab. And that's simply not the case. But like I said, it's your right. It's your right. It is absolutely your right of the promotional team as well as the venue. If they want to be having discriminatory practices, dictating what people spend, how much money you spend versus on your vaccination status, that is your right. Ain't no damn concert that I would ever go to. You know what I mean? And I think you a fucking sucker for doing it. The market will respond as such. Some people will want to go spend their basic money, and if that's how they want to do it, well, maybe that's what it is. But my issue with it is what it is you're saying in terms of the idea, not the right. You have the right, but punk, metal, hardcore, even rock based, just basic rock based music, which unfortunately, specifically with punk, we know has been deemed as this sort of anti-authoritarian in nature concept and culture. It's more than just the music. Couldn't be any further from that anymore. I've seen and watched guys in the metalcore and hardcore community buck dance for politicians, not with R's next to their name, politicians nonetheless. Anytime they say something, it must be righteous. And with this COVID-19, they are espousing basically everything it is that the state has dictated. And if you question that, somehow you're in the wrong. And that ain't punk rock at all. It's not metal either. You know what I'm saying? But I've sat and watched it over this past year, and this is where we're going with it. So go ahead, charge $1,000 a head for people that won't get the vaccine. Just think it's kind of weird, and considering the genre it is that you're trying to appease or appeal to, may just be a little antithetical to that. It's not very punk. You just watched a clip from my podcast, For Canon's Sake. Catch us live at 12 p.m. throughout the week over at youtube.com/YoungRipper59 and follow us over at odyssey.com/@YoungRipper59. If you want to watch the entire video cast after the show is over, just be sure to become a member on the YouTube channel. Of course, the full audio portion of the podcast is available for free on all major digital platforms, or just visit forcanonsake.com.